Y'all, brace yourselves, because what just leaked is enough to break the internet and destroy one of love and hip-hop's most iconic relationships. In a shocking twist no one saw coming, private messages allegedly sent by Mendeecees to another. Women have surfaced online, and the content is so raw, so intimate, and so damning. Fans are calling it the ultimate betrayal. But it doesn't stop there. Just hours after the leak, Yandy went live. And what happened on that live stream has left the entire fandom reeling. Tears, confusion, rage. Yandy didn't hold back. With shaking hands and a broken voice, she confirmed what everyone feared. "I thought we were past all this, but I guess I was wrong." And as thousands tuned in, hearts collectively sank. Was this the end? Is the love they rebuilt now shattered? For good? The DMs in question are filled with flirty emojis, cryptic late-night confessions, and worse, receipts that point to secret meetups. And now, the woman involved is speaking out. And trust, she's not backing down. Keep watching, because we're about to unpack everything that led to this bombshell explosion. You're not ready for what's next. The moment the screenshots dropped, the timeline erupted. It wasn't just gossip this time, it was proof. Receipts, leaked messages, allegedly between Mendeecees and a woman who was definitely not Yandy. Fans were quick to zoom in, match the profile pics, verify the usernames, and connect the dots. Within minutes, the screenshots were being reshared with captions like, "Not Mendeecees again," and "Yandy deserves better, far." But what made this situation spiral even faster was the fact that the messages didn't feel like innocent conversation. They were full of late-night energy, little hearts, disappearing voice notes, and worst of all, location pins that matched up with cities Mendeecees had business trips in over the past few weeks. Fans didn't waste any time. They pulled up his travel dates, his Instagram stories, and matched them with the locations in the messages. It was looking bad. Really bad. While the internet was going into full FBI mode, Yandy had gone quiet, completely silent. Her usual stories full of motivation, beauty tips, or behind the scenes from her business, gone. No posts, no likes, just silence. And that silence said more than any caption ever could. Then came the voice note. One of the messages in the thread was an audio clip. Fans who clicked it couldn't believe what they heard. It was unmistakably Mendeecees' voice. Deep, calm, and dangerously smooth. He was laughing softly, saying something about keeping things low, and adding, "Yandy don't gotta know everything." That one line alone sent shockwaves through the fandom, because if this was real, if this wasn't some AI-generated fake, it meant he was actively hiding something. And worse, he was comfortable doing it. Within hours, Yandy's name was trending. Fans were split. Some were begging people not to jump to conclusions. Others were calling it classic Mendeecees behavior. But everyone was watching, waiting, wondering if Yandy would say something. And then, she did. It wasn't a public statement. It wasn't a press release. It was a live. Yandy hopped on Instagram Live around 10 p.m. with no makeup, in a hoodie, sitting in her bedroom. No glam, no filters, just raw emotion. And from the second she started talking, it was clear. She had seen everything. "I'm not here to drag anyone," she began, her voice shaky, "but I've been quiet long enough, and I feel like I owe y'all the truth." Her eyes were puffy. Her tone was calm, but you could hear the pain bubbling underneath. Thousands joined the live within minutes. Comments flooded in. "We love you, Yandy. You don't deserve this. Please tell us it's not true." But Yandy didn't sugarcoat anything. "When I saw those messages, my heart dropped," she admitted. "I gave that man years of my life. I held him down when nobody else would. I defended him when people called me stupid." And now this? The chat exploded. It was the first public confirmation that the messages were real, and that she believed them. But Yandy wasn't just hurt, she was angry too. This ain't even about cheating. It's about disrespect. It's about lying to my face and making me feel crazy when I knew something was off. I ain't stupid. As the live went on, she revealed more. Little details that fans hadn't picked up on. Like how Mendeecees had been working late more often, how he'd started locking his phone, how their conversations had become shorter, colder. He wasn't present anymore, she said. His body was home, but his mind was somewhere else. And that's when it hit her. You ever feel like you already know the truth, but you just need one more sign? She asked. Well, this was my sign. Yandy then took a deep breath. I ain't perfect. I've made mistakes too. But I always loved him for real. And to see him talk like that, to hear him say, Yandy don't gotta know everything, like I'm some fool that broke me. The live went quiet for a moment. Even the comments slowed. It was like the whole internet was holding its breath, waiting to see what she would do next. I don't know what's next, she admitted. I don't know if we can fix this, but I do know I won't stay quiet. Not anymore. Then she ended the live. And just like that, it was over. No follow-up, no post, no story, just silence again. But this time, heavy with meaning. Fans immediately began dissecting the live. Clips were uploaded within minutes. TikTok was flooded with reactions. Yandy's finally speaking her truth. Mendeecees fumbled the queen. You could hear the pain in her voice. The internet was on fire, and the situation was evolving faster than anyone could keep up. And then came the other woman. The next twist would hit even harder, because just when everyone was processing Yandy's pain, the alleged other woman decided she had something to say too. Her name wasn't widely known, but after a few internet sleuths tracked down matching usernames and story tags, she was quickly identified, and within 24 hours, she posted. Her post was simple, a selfie captioned, "Since everyone wants the truth, here it comes." She followed that with a second story, a blurry screenshot of her phone showing what looked like another DM from Mendeecees. The message read, "Don't post anything yet, let me handle it first." Fans were shook. Was Mendeecees trying to silence her? And more importantly, what else did she have? The moment the second screenshot hit the story, it was like throwing gasoline on an open flame. "Don't post anything yet, let me handle it first." Those were the exact words that fans claimed matched Mendeecees' tone from the leaked voice note earlier. The internet was in overdrive. People were screen recording, commenting, dissecting everything. And one question echoed louder than all others. What exactly was he trying to handle? By now, the alleged other woman had become a central figure in this drama, whether she wanted to or not. Fans quickly discovered she was a model with a modest following, mostly known for lifestyle posts and brand deals. But none of that mattered anymore. Every photo on her feed was now flooded with comments. Home wrecker. Is this the girl from the voice note? You broke Yandy's heart. But here's the twist. She wasn't backing down. Instead of denying anything, she leaned into the chaos. Her next post was a boomerang video of her sipping wine, captioned, "Truth hurts, doesn't it?" No names were mentioned, but everyone knew exactly who she was talking about. While her followers spiked overnight, so did the tension. Because fans weren't just angry, they were conflicted. Some believed she was clout chasing, others claimed she had nothing to gain by faking it, and a growing group suspected she had been manipulated by Mendeecees just like Yandy had. Don't post anything yet? Didn't sound like concern. It sounded like control. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was nowhere to be seen. His social media was silent. No tweets, no posts, just a ghost in the middle of a storm he may have started. And that silence, once again, spoke volumes. Fans started asking, why hasn't he said anything? If this is fake, why isn't he clearing his name? But instead of statements, there were only more leaks. One page, a known T-blog, claimed to have received another set of DMs, allegedly from Mendeecees to the same woman dated months back. In those messages, he appeared more flirty, more invested. Things like, "I miss your energy," and "You keep me sane." Screenshots were side by side with his Instagram posts from the same time, where he had been praising Yandy for being his ride or die. Fans were livid. How do you post about loyalty while saying this to someone else? But things were just getting started. Yandy broke her silence again, this time through a close friend who posted a cryptic tweet. "She's stronger than y'all know, but don't play with her peace again." It didn't take long for people to speculate who the tweet was about. And not even 2 hours later, a clip surfaced, this time from a podcast episode that Yandy had apparently filmed weeks ago, but hadn't released yet. In the unaired footage, Yandy talked about what betrayal feels like when it comes from someone you built a life with. "It's not always physical," she said, looking directly at the host. "Sometimes the emotional betrayal hurts more. The lies, the manipulation, the gaslighting. That's what kills you. The timing of that leak felt too perfect to be a coincidence. Was this her way of fighting back? Or had someone from her camp decided the world needed to hear her truth? Whether she was ready or not. And just when people thought they had the full story, a voice recording surfaced. Not of Mendeecees this time, but of the other woman, speaking to a friend. The clip, though muffled, was clear enough to hear her say, "He told me they weren't even really together anymore. He said it was just for show." Those few words flipped the narrative upside down. Was Mendeecees telling two women two different stories? Was he playing both sides? Yandy hadn't responded yet, but fans were piecing things together. They remembered. A live from 2 months ago where Yandy had seemed distant, dodging questions about her relationship. "We're good," she had said with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. In hindsight, it felt rehearsed, forced. The betrayal was beginning to look deeper than anyone realized. By now, people close to the couple were being dragged into the mess. Yandy's brother posted a story with just one word. Enough. Mendeecees. Cousin commented under one blog post, "Y'all don't even know the half." And fans were eating it all up. Everyone wanted more. Blogs started publishing timelines, full breakdowns of the alleged affair, receipts, overlays of travel dates, side-by-side videos showing Mendeecees texting during moments that now seemed suspicious. People were playing detective with every move, every look, every archived post. And yet, Mendeecees stayed silent. His silence was becoming louder than any denial. In the past, he had been quick to defend himself, quick to shut down lies. But this time, nothing, and fans noticed. Even celebrities began chiming in. One reality star tweeted, "Protect Yandy at all costs." Another posted, "If Mendeecees really did this, we need to have a talk." The wave of support for Yandy was overwhelming. And then, without warning, Mendeecees reappeared. He went live, no caption, no warning, no fancy background. Just him. Hoodie on, in a dimly lit room. The comments exploded. "Where have you been? You better explain yourself. Yandy deserves answers." He didn't look defensive or even angry. He looked tired. "I see everything y'all saying," he began, voice low. "And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I ain't made mistakes." But he didn't confirm or deny the messages. Instead, he talked about pressure, about how the world doesn't understand what it's like to live in the spotlight, to have your flaws exposed, to be judged by millions who don't know the whole story. "People think they know our relationship just because we're on TV," he said, "but real life ain't reality TV." And then came the line that left everyone stunned. "If Yandy wants to walk away, I won't stop her. But I'll never stop loving her." The live ended abruptly. No apology, no explanation, just that. And fans were left reeling. Had he just admitted guilt without saying it? Was that his way of saying sorry, or just dodging the truth as Yandy's endless silence continued? The world waited because everyone knew. This wasn't over. Within hours of Mendeecees' cryptic live ending, social media was ablaze with reactions. Fans didn't hold back. Some called it a coward's way of dodging responsibility. Others claimed it was the most honest moment they'd ever seen from him. But the one voice everyone was waiting for was still silent. Until it wasn't. Around midnight, Yandy went live. And this time, she didn't hold back. The moment the notification hit screens, tens of thousands poured in. Her face appeared, dimly lit, eyes tired but fierce. She didn't wear glam. She didn't have music. It was raw. "I wasn't gonna say nothing," she began, her voice cracking slightly. But at some point, silence becomes complicity, and I refuse to be complicit in my own pain. You could hear a pin drop. What y'all saw, what y'all heard, it hurt. Not just because of what he said, but because of how long I've carried the weight of pretending everything was okay. Fans flooded the comments. "We love you, Yandy. You deserve better. Speak your truth." But Yandy wasn't done. "For years," she continued, "I've been the one defending him, explaining things, forgiving things behind closed doors so nobody else would look at him funny. But I'm done. I'm tired." Then came the real gut punch. "I heard that voice note before y'all did," she admitted. You think I was shocked? No, I was broken. Because it wasn't the first time. People lost it. Because that sentence changed everything. This wasn't just about a leak. It was about a pattern. I gave him grace. Again and again. I gave him chances most women wouldn't. she said, wiping tears away. And I still ended up humiliated in front of the whole world. As she spoke, more pieces of the puzzle began falling into place. Yandy shared a moment that sent fans spiraling. There was a night, she recalled. He came home at 3 a.m., said he was at a studio session, but his clothes smelled like her, perfume. And I knew. I just knew. Comments were coming in so fast they couldn't even load. Why didn't you leave then? One asked. And Yandy answered. Live. In real time. Because I loved him, she said. Because we had kids. Because I believed he could grow. Because I was stupid enough to think love was enough. And just like that, it was no longer a scandal. It was a heartbreak. But the live didn't stop there. Someone from the audience, maybe a fan, maybe a fake page, dropped a comment that ignited another firestorm. Check the other girl's story. She's going off again. Yandy paused. I'm not about to let no side chick play me on my own live, she snapped. And in a move no one expected, she pulled out her second phone and checked it right then and there. The screen flashed briefly. Enough for fans to see it was the girl's page, and the caption was wild. He told me he loved me first. Y'all just mad I believed him. The energy shifted. Yandy scoffed. This the problem. Too many women proud of being chosen second. Proud of being the secret. Ain't no crown in that, sis. Mic drop. Fans were howling in support. Influencers reposted the clip within minutes. The phrase, ain't no crown in that, was trending before her live even ended. But behind the clapbacks, you could still see the pain. Because Yandy wasn't just mad, she was devastated. And she admitted something even more vulnerable. I didn't go live to bash him. I went live because I needed y'all to see I'm not okay. I've been strong too long. And right now, I don't feel strong. The live ended after 18 minutes. And when it did, the world felt different. Blogs reposted the full thing within the hour. TikTok edits were everywhere. Her quotes were being shared on Black love pages, therapy pages, even feminist accounts. People weren't just reacting. They were relating. And somewhere in all that noise, another unexpected voice joined the conversation. Mendeecees' ex, the one he had children with before Yandy, made a subtle but sharp post. History repeats when no one heals. No tags, no names. But the message was clear, and fans took it and ran. He been like this. So Yandy really took him back thinking she was different. Women gotta stop trying to fix men who ain't fixing themselves. Things were spiraling. And then another audio leaked. But this time it wasn't from the other woman. It was allegedly Mendeecees again, this time on the phone with a friend, venting. The audio was low, scratchy, but his voice was recognizable. In it, he said, I ain't think it would go that far. She said she wasn't gonna post nothing. Referring to the girl, to Yandy. No one could be sure, but the implication was enough. He wasn't sorry for what he did. He was sorry it got out. The backlash was swift. Even people who had defended him started switching sides. A fan account tweeted, he was never sorry. He was just sloppy. Another wrote, you don't accidentally break someone this many times. The court of public opinion had reached its verdict, and it wasn't in his favor. But amidst the chaos, Yandy dropped one last bomb. She posted a photo, a throwback of her and Mendeecees on vacation. No caption, just a broken heart emoji. The same photo, fans noticed, had once been her profile pic. And now, it was a symbol of everything lost. Just hours after Yandy's tearful live and the resurgence of that old vacation photo, something unexpected happened. Mendeecees went silent. Not a single post, no stories, no tweets, no cryptic quotes. Nothing. For someone who usually thrived on staying ahead of the narrative, the silence felt like a confession. And fans noticed. He's ghosting us because he's guilty, one tweet read. He can't spin this one. Meanwhile, Yandy's supporters were turning her pain into a movement. Hashtags like Mandra Protect Yandy and She Was Enough were trending. Across platforms, celebrity friends started speaking out. One influencer reposted a clip of Yandy from her live with the caption, I know that type of heartbreak. She's grieving a version of him that never really existed. But as the internet rallied behind her, an anonymous tip landed in a blog's DMs. And what they posted next set the drama ablaze all over again. A third voice note. This one different, not from Mendeecees. Not from the girl, but from a mutual friend. Someone caught between the fire and the loyalty test had failed. He told me he ain't even feel bad, the voice said, muffled but crystal clear in tone. He said it's just what men do when they feel trapped. That one sentence broke the internet. What men do when they feel trapped. Thousands of women shared their own experiences. Stories of betrayal, manipulation, gaslighting. And the phrase became a meme, a slogan, a cry for change. It was no longer just about Yandy and Mendeecees. It was bigger. It was cultural. And yet, right in the center of it all, Yandy remained heartbreakingly quiet until a video surfaced. Paparazzi caught her leaving a friend's apartment, wearing sunglasses at night, hoodie pulled up, no makeup, surrounded by security. They asked if she was okay. She didn't answer, but what she did say, softly, barely audible, was caught by a mic. "I just want peace." The clip went viral, and the energy shifted again. This wasn't entertainment anymore. It was grief. It was real, and it hit fans hard. A popular talk show host even did a full segment on the story, saying, "What we're watching is a woman who gave her whole heart, now being forced to pick up the pieces in front of the world. This isn't just gossip. This is trauma on display." But if anyone thought that was the final blow, they were wrong, because a day later, the side chick, the same one from the Instagram drama, dropped a full 30-minute live. And it was chaos. She started it with, "I didn't come to be messy, but since y'all keep tagging me," red flag already? She went on to describe her relationship with Mendeecees in detail. The calls, the texts, the promises. And then she said something that had people's jaws on the floor. "He told me Yandy knew. He said they weren't even really together like that. It was all for TV." The comment section exploded. "Nah, this gotta be a lie. Is she serious?" All for TV? Screenshots followed. Call logs, DMs, voicemails. Some fans questioned their authenticity, but others swore they'd seen enough to believe. Even, "If half of it's fake," one user wrote, "the damage is done." And they were right, because that same night, Yandy unfollowed Mendeecees.fans who had been watching her page like hawks caught it immediately. Within minutes, a screenshot of her following list was circulating. The caption? "She finally did it. She let him go." It felt like a final chapter, but heartbreak doesn't close so cleanly. In the days that followed, insiders began leaking more. Production sources from the Love and Hip Hop franchise hinted that Yandy had been pushing for a new storyline, one without Mendeecees. "She's ready to step into her own light," one source said. "She's done dimming herself for someone who won't stop playing with shadows." Another source said the network was considering a spin-off centered entirely on her healing journey, and fans were here for it. They flooded producers' comments. "We want Yandy's era. She's the main character now. Give her a new love, a new life, and a glow-up." But not everyone was celebrating. Mendeecees' team released a short, vague statement. "Relationships are complex. We ask for privacy during this time." But it was too little, too late, because just then, another twist dropped. Someone from Yandy's past, a former close friend, posted a video that reopened old wounds. "This ain't new," the friend said. "She'd been crying over him since before jail. Y'all just didn't see it." And every time she'd swear it was the last time. It was messy, raw, and fans were split. Some called the friend out for clout chasing. Others said it added context. But the one person who didn't respond? Yandy, because for the first time in a long time, she was off social media completely. No stories, no likes, no reposts. Her last visible action? A simple tweet. When silence is survival. And it spoke volumes. Silence can say everything. And Yandy's silence? It echoed louder than any rant, any shade, any tear-streaked live. The girl who had once fought with every fiber of her being for her love was now nowhere to be found online. Not even to defend herself. But the world kept talking. Bloggers speculated that her team had advised a full social media blackout until legal steps were finalized. Rumors started swirling about potential separation filings. A few unconfirmed sources even whispered the word divorce. Mendeecees, for his part, resurfaced. Not with an apology, not with a denial, not even with a cryptic post. He went live. The internet flooded in, watching every blink, every sigh. And right at the start, he hit play on his own narrative. "People are always quick to believe the worst," he said, "but nobody ever asks for the full story." He claimed the messages were taken out of context, the voice notes spliced together, and the photos from a time when we were figuring things out. But fans weren't buying it. They bombarded the comments. Context doesn't change betrayal. How you gonna gaslight all of us? You broke her heart on live and now you want sympathy? Mendeecees tried to keep composure. He even pulled out the classic deflection. I'm a human being too. I make mistakes, but the damage was done. And then came the real shocker. Just when it looked like he was about to wrap up, he dropped this. Y'all keep talking like Yandy ain't had her own secrets. Pause. People froze. Did he really just go there? She made sacrifices, yeah. But don't act like I was the only one not being real. It was a low blow. Strategic or desperate, no one could tell. But what it did was throw the internet into chaos again. Did he just blame her? He's trying to flip the script. So now she deserved it? Within minutes, Yandy's name was trending again, this time with a tidal wave of support. People were done with the back and forth, done with giving men like him the benefit of the doubt. And then, Yandy broke her silence. Not with words. With a photo, she posted a single black and white picture of her and her kids. No caption, no explanation. Just her holding their hands, walking. Away from the camera, the internet lit up. This is her statement. She chose her peace. This is the glow-up we needed. Celebrities reposted it. Influencers framed it as the power move of the year. Even relationship coaches chimed in, calling it the most graceful exit we've seen in a long time. And that's when something changed. People stopped talking about the betrayal and started talking about the recovery. Blogs began posting throwbacks of Yandy's accomplishments, her activism, her business ventures, the fact that she held her household down for years while Mendeecees was away. A fan tweeted, "This woman got degrees, kids, a legacy, and y'all really thought she'd let a cheating man be her downfall?" The energy had shifted, even brands noticed. Within a week, reports surfaced that 3 major beauty and lifestyle brands had approached Yandy for partnership deals, each one wanting to spotlight her strength and authenticity. Meanwhile, Mendeecees, his reputation took hit after hit. Old. Footage of him being dismissive toward Yandy in past episodes resurfaced. A montage went viral titled, "Signs She Should Have Left Years Ago." Some of his business sponsors quietly distanced themselves. And though he continued to post, the engagement was down, the comments brutal. But this wasn't about revenge, it was about reclaiming. Yandy didn't need to clap back. Her silence, her focus on her kids, and her quiet grace were the ultimate response. Then, finally, after a full week of social detox, Yandy went live again. No tears this time, no shaky voice. She sat calmly, hair pulled back, barefaced and unapologetically raw. "I just want to thank everybody who prayed for me, who sent me messages, who shared their own stories," she said. "This has been one of the hardest weeks of my life, but also one of the most freeing." She didn't name Mendeecees, she didn't drag him, but she made one thing crystal clear. "I'm not broken, I'm not bitter, I'm just done." Chabrins erupted. "We love a healed queen. Closure looks good on her. This is how you handle betrayal with class." The live ended with her walking away from the camera, just like the photo. Only this time, the light behind her wasn't dim. It was bright, and fans knew this wasn't the end of her story. It was the beginning of something powerful, a journey, from betrayal to rebirth, from heartbreak to healing. Because while Mendeecees' messages leaked, it was Yandy's silence that spoke the loudest. So now that the dust has settled, the truth laid bare, and the world has seen both the betrayal and the bounce back. Where does this leave Yandy and Mendeecees? The fans have chosen their side. The brands have made their move. And Yandy? She's walking tall, head high, no need to explain, justify, or defend. She's no longer the woman waiting on a man to choose her. She's the woman who finally chose herself. As for Mendeecees, his silence now feels deafening. Every post, every live, every attempt to clean up the mess just adds more fuel to a fire he thought he could control. And those leaked messages, they weren't just receipts. They were a mirror. And the reflection wasn't pretty. But this story isn't just about 2 people and a broken relationship. It's about accountability. It's about women standing in their truth, and it's about the internet. all of us, witnessing the shift when silence becomes the strongest statement of all. So now it's your turn. What do you think really happened behind those closed doors? Was this the final straw for Yandy, or is there still more to the story we haven't seen? Should Mendeecees face more consequences, or does he deserve a second chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading every single one. Don't forget to like this video if you believe in women reclaiming their power. Subscribe to the channel if you want the real tea, the behind-the-scenes drama, and the stories they don't want you to hear. And turn on those notifications, because trust us, this story might be over, but the fallout